Your soulmate's name is written on your wrist. It's a sentence we've all heard 1,000 times. It sucks for people who have really common names on their forearms, making their soulmate that much harder to find, although at least they're not demonized for casual dating. Maybe it's silly, but I've never really agreed with the idea that you shouldn't date, shouldn't explore relationships with people other than your soulmate. Not to mention that as much as your soulmate might be Steve, there's no guarantee that your Steve will have you as his soulmate. Polyamory works to a certain extent, but unconditionally loving someone who doesn't love you quite as much isn't easy. My parents were each other's soulmates, for definite. Between my mother's father making a misspelling on her birth certificate and my father having an incredibly rare name, while they were supposedly perfect for each other, destined and designed for one another, they fought endlessly. Maybe fighting made them happy, or maybe it didn't, but it definitely made my life a living hell and somewhat destroyed the idealised image of soulmates that most people had. I'd invested in all sorts of wrist accessories to hide my soulmate name. I'd contemplated tattoos, but I'd read an article about how a widower had tried to cover the name with a beautiful tattoo, only to find after a few weeks the name had shone out through it. It wasn't that I didn't want to meet my soulmate, or that I would ignore them, but I wanted to explore dating, creating and maintaining relationships, learn conflict resolution without fighting, explore relationships that didn't have to last forever. "I like your rainbow sweatband." She was beautiful, hair cascading over her shoulders, smile a brilliant slash in a freckled face. "Thanks," I smiled back. "I'm Lily." "Terri. It's nice to meet you." "You too. I was worried that a rainbow sweatband would stand out too much." Lily looked down at herself. "My hoodie says I'm the rainbow sheep of the family. I think you're good." I laughed. Lily and I kept bumping into each other everywhere on campus. We had a bunch of lectures together. She had a similar coffee addiction, well, tea, and spent an inordinate amount of time in the campus shop. And then we met once more at LGBT Society. Lily laughed when she noticed, a sound I had begun to notice in a crowd. Something that was never far away when Lily was close. "If I had a soulmate," she grinned, "I'd guess it was you." "If you had a soulmate?" I asked. "Not important. I don't really believe in it anyway." "I've always thought the soulmate thing a little too easy," Lily offered. "Nobody knows how to make a relationship work because they're too busy waiting for their soulmate to pop up." "You want to try dating?" Lily asked. "Who? You?" "That was my proposition." 2 years into the relationship, I started wigging out. I'd meet people with a name matching the one on my wrist, and butterflies would invade my stomach. A band would tighten around my chest. Breathing would become difficult. I knew I loved Lily. We'd been together for a full 2 years. Hardly argued. We'd even started living together, and I knew I wouldn't give her up for the chance of a soulmate who I couldn't possibly like as much as I liked Lily. She was my best friend, my love, and my whole world. So I kept wearing my sweatband, kept on smiling when people called Lily my soulmate, kept my fears all bottled up to myself. "Terri, I need to talk to you about something," Lily greeted when I got home. I froze, my mind flicking through all the possibilities. Did she know about my concerns, my anxieties? Was she leaving me? Was she self-harming again? "It's not a big deal." She wouldn't look at me, eyes steadfastly clinging to her hands, which squirmed in her lap. I took the seat next to her. "What's up?" I reached for her hands, both to comfort and to subtly check her forearms. I think I might be a boy. Or a man. You know, male?" Her eyes flicked up to mine. "How long have you felt this way?" "I don't know." She looked away again. "I've been thinking about it seriously for a couple of weeks." "Do you have a name?" "What?" "A new name, a man name, a name to try." He stared at me. "Why are you so okay with this?" "If you can't explore it with me, who can you explore it with?" He kissed me. "You're perfect." And I was thinking, maybe, Levi? I blinked at him for a long moment. How did I what?" I gently pulled off my sweatband and revealed the delicate script reading Levi. He laughed. "I have never seen that." I thought it over, considering the truth of that statement. I wore a sweatband at all times, pulling them off only to shower. If we showered together, I always put a plaster over the name. partially so Levi wouldn't see the name and wig out, and partially so I didn't have to look at it either, a reminder that my relationship looked like it had a timestamp on it. Or swapping it out to wash it. "I can't believe you're my soulmate," I muttered. "After all this stress, and it's you!" He laughed. Who would ever have guessed? If you enjoyed this, you can find more of my written work on nopoodles.wordpress.com.